poets, and I knew what people were afraid of. They were afraid of that plain piece of white paper. It scared the life out of them. So I thought, if they write on the course and they read out before they go home, they won't be frightened of their paper during the next week, and they will write at home. I also didn't realize what a powerful course I had designed, because it was a right brain course. My few pupils that I had to start with immediately started getting their work into newspapers and magazines. They asked me, please, we need a voice to be heard. We can't just write this good stuff. So without knowing what publishing was about, in 1995, that was 21 years ago, I joined the South African Publishers Association, and I began a niche publishing concern called Innocence Press. To date, we've published more than 2,100 titles by young and old in all different languages around the country. What it does, it gives the children a voice, a platform to be heard, because they can get on media. They can get media coverage, they can get on radio, they can get on in newspapers, they can get on TV, because they've been published. For instance, this child is 14 years of age, and she has written a 176-page book novel. She's a student at Girls High. I won't take the credit for teaching her. She's a natural writer, but she has come to me, and I have published. She has another book ready to be published as well. Totally brilliant natural writer. This gives them a platform to be noticed. Otherwise, that manuscript will die at home, because the big publishers want to make a lot of money. They want sales, and I'm not. We're more about giving people a voice. I'm not interested so much in the sales as developing a love of writing, a love of communication, and giving children a platform and actually changing their lives, because the right brain does change lives. So anyway, then in 1999, I thought, well, I suddenly thought, I've discovered the secret of the right brain. I know a secret, because I wondered, why are all these people writing so well? And I'm actually quite jealous of them, and they've written their read wonderful stuff. So then I decided I had many wonderful people help me in my journey as a writer to get published and do whatever. And so I decided to give the secret out, and I wrote this book, Dancing Pencils, in 1999. And Dancing Pencils, I think, was the first book in the world, I would say, to actually give out the secret of how to access the right brain. Because talking about the right brain is actually a left brain process, because the right brain is not about words. It's non-verbal. It's beyond words. So very difficult to you have to actually experience shifting to the right brain, which is a non-verbal area of the brain, and can only really be done through workshops, right brain workshops. So anyway, that's what happened. I did a 5,000 print run, which is really brave. Nearly, I've got a few hundred left, but 4,500 copies of this book have travelled around South Africa. As a result, I began to do workshops for departments of education in all 9 provinces. Little snippets here and there. Nobody took seriously the fact that this will actually change literacy levels. This will turn us, we're at the bottom of the world, bottom of Africa in literacy, below Swaziland, below Zimbabwe, and yet we spend a fortune on it. But what do? Pushing more and more into the left brain. And the left brain gets overloaded, the children leave school, the teachers leave, and they spend more and more money. In fact, then in I won't shortchange myself. I'll get there. What happened in 1999, or in about the year 2000, I had one of my students did a think tank, because he said, you're writing, your publishing's getting scattered. And in that think tank, the Department of Mpumalanga sent people, the Education Department sent people, came out the fact that I needed to train mentors and shift my knowledge to train mentors who could use the knowledge. We can reach the furthest reaches of the deepest rural areas where it's very difficult to get. If you train a mentor who understands writing stuff and can train children. For instance, just giving you an example now, we have these 2 books. Inganyami, which is deep rural in Gavuma, and this one was also in another Zulu name, also deep rural. These are AIDS orphans, far deep rural areas, who have the support of the Isibani September Foundation for AIDS orphans. They also supply psychological counselling and whatever, physical as well as education. A colleague and I have been up 3 years running. We help 4 schools up there, and what we do is in the right brain writing. The stories are hugely sad. This is what they do. We give them paper, pens, we shift them to the right brain, we give them examples, in no time at all they're writing. And they pour their hearts out in these stories. I love my family, much about parents dying, about all sorts of tragic things. I couldn't do them at night because I can't sleep, but I typed some because I felt I needed to know what the children were writing. I needed to. Vera also helped. She said it was the most excruciating work she'd ever done. And as I said, this gives the children a feeling when those books go back. Okay, we send one and they may buy 10, 50, but goes to the schools. The children see themselves in print. We would love it if we had funding to be able to give them all the books. It would actually do a huge amount. So basically, this works for deep rural areas. It works for all over.